Hey, hold on. Don't you come any closer, big guy. That's right, stay there. I've seen what you can do with the chainsaw, and I quite like my body the way it is, thank you very much. Look, I know you're a bit pissed off and you like nothing more than ripping and tearing, but I've played the first 3 hours of your new game, Doom Eternal, and I thought it was pretty great. Well, most of it anyway. Okay, look, before you pull my arms off, at least listen to what I've got to say, okay? Look, here are 6 things I liked about Doom Eternal, and 2 things I didn't. Starting with...
the surprises.
One thing is for certain, the gameplay in Doom Eternal seems to be much more varied than that of its predecessor. For a game that's all about painting walls with gore, you'd be forgiven for thinking that perhaps the gameplay would be a bit shallow, and in Doom 2016, well, it kind of was. Not so in Doom Eternal though, as there seems to be surprises hidden around every corner, which keep the action from getting too stale and repetitive. One such example happened halfway through level 3. One minute I was putting a bunch of poor defenceless and skinless acolytes out of their misery. The next I was remote control piloting a revenant and using it to take out all of its demon mates so I could finally schnaffle the super shotgun with its new hookshot attachment. That's just one example, of course, and I actually stumbled across loads of cool moments just like this one in the 3 hours I played. Like when I fell down a hole and was introduced to Q-Ball, an exploding enemy type that can be fired at your foes for maximum damage. In fact, according to a developer that I spoke to, surprises like this are thrown at you pretty regularly for the entirety of the game. So if you found Doom 2016 to be a little bit monotonous, Doom Eternal should give you the variety you crave.
Destructible Demons.
The combat in Doom 2016 was incredibly satisfying, but in Doom Eternal it's even better, and one of the main reasons for this is the introduction of Destructible Demons, which I absolutely loved. Far from being just a visual treat, the ability to blow bits off your enemies as you lay into them will also give you a bunch of tactical advantages. Take this Mancubus for example. Sure, it's nice to watch its skin fall off as you shoot it in its belly, but if you aim for its glowing red weak points, which in this example are its hand cannons, you can shoot them off and disable its long-range attacks, leaving it open for a lovely stabby thing to the eye. Other weak points that can be taken advantage of include the Arachnotron's plasma cannon and the Keiko Demon's mouth. Just aim a grenade at its gaping maw and it'll swallow it whole and become dazed by the resulting explosion, leaving you with the perfect opportunity to pull off a glory kill.
Glory kills.
Talking of glory kills, they're back and as brutal as ever. Here's a quick selection of some of the ones I saw during my hands-on.
Fortress of Doom!
The Fortress of Doom may not be the most welcoming of names, but that's what your new base is called anyway, so deal with it. This weird command station stroke spaceship thingy is unlocked during the second level, and it acts as a hub world, a place to activate new missions, unlock upgrades, and replay levels so you can discover all the secrets you missed the first time around, including all new collectible toys, which now take the form of cute versions of your enemies. The Fortress of Doom is deceptively massive, and there are many cool things to find if you explore hard enough. One of those things is called the Ripatorium, which is a prison for demons that you can enter whenever you want to practice fighting the Hellspawn without dying or losing inventory items like ammo or extra lives. The more you play the game, the more encounters and demons you'll unlock in the Ripatorium, and it's a great place to go to improve your skills or just let off some steam without the fear of something horrible laying eggs in your face.
Easter eggs.
This next point is one of my favourites because if you explore the Fortress of Doom hard enough, you'll be able to stumble across the Doomslayer's gaming room, and it's crammed full of Easter eggs. For a start, the Doomslayer has quite the setup, and when he's not out tearing new a-holes into demons, it looks like he spends his time sat in front of this 3-screen beast, munching on takoyaki-flavoured crisps and Gulami's pizza. The computer screen itself has some lovely wallpaper, which looks like a photo of a real-life location, although I can't quite place where on earth this is. The icons on the desktop are pretty fun though. One is a folder that includes the Doomslayer's kill list, while another is an MP3 file of Rip and Tear, one of the best tracks from the 2016 OST. Shamefully, I only spotted this old PC here while I was looking back at my footage. As you can see, it's an old 90s style PC with a floppy disk drive and an audio cassette sat next to it. Could this be a way to play retro levels in the new game? I don't know because I'm an idiot and I didn't check, but it would be cool if you could. Next up, over on the right-hand wall, you'll find the Doomslayer's awesome collection of guitars. Presumably, as a break from shredding demons, he likes nothing more than shredding these. Bagsy the middle one. Over on the opposite wall, there's a rather beautiful portrait of the Doomslayer in better times, holding his dearly departed pet rabbit Daisy, which is a Doom 2 Easter egg, if you weren't aware. And then, over by the door here, you'll find this bookshelf, which is literally crammed with eggies. For a start, the helmet, skull and gun of Captain Keen are sat on top of it, but then if you look at each shelf, you'll find that pretty much everything on here is a reference to something from either id Software or Bethesda. There's books on this shelf that reference the Fallout series, Prey 2, the Quake series, Rage. There's a book from Werner von Braun from Wolfenstein The New Order, and there's even a book that takes the piss out of Duke Nukem, who in this case is called Dork Norkum. The shelf below this one even holds a bunch of big box copies of original id Software games, which is going to deliver a huge wave of nostalgia for some of you older gamers out there. While the top shelf here doesn't hold any blatant Easter eggs, there are some extremely fun book title puns featuring Doom-style spins on classic novels, like 50 Shades of Slay, The Keiko in the Rye, and Demon Farm. Basically, this room rules, and you should visit it as soon as you can. As an extra bonus point for Easter eggs, by the way, you can also head to the back of the Fortress of Doom to unlock a classic Doomslayer skin. And why wouldn't you? Just look at it. It's beautiful.
This little Space Roomba.
Look, it's just cute, okay? Look at him trying his best. Aww.
The law. Oh, you know our laws.
Not only does Doom Eternal expand on the gameplay of Doom 2016, it also expands on the lore, and that, my friends, is where my first negative point comes in. On one hand, the fact that Doom Eternal has lore at all is pretty impressive, considering it's just a game about shooting 32 new arseholes into a bunch of monsters. But on the other hand, it seems like id has gone a little too overboard with it all. The lore expands on that of Doom 2016 in a big way and introduces things like Sentinels, Khan Makers, Kings, Hell Priests, old religions and a bunch of other nonsense that turns the Codex entries into nothing more than a load of gibberish. Building a new lore around the Doom reboots is fair enough, but making it so impenetrable and so in-depth that it makes the Silmarillion seem like a Mr. Men book is just a bit silly considering what type of game this is. Seriously, it was fine when the lore was simple and the Doom guy was just a hard-as-nails marine on Mars kicking the fook out of demons to a bitching soundtrack. Anything else just seems a bit try-hard.
The platforming. Ugh.
As much as I loved my time with Doom Eternal, there were certain sections that made me want to hurl my controller across the room with all my might, and those sections were the platforming sections. It's not only that there seem to be quite a lot of them, but also that they're the sort of platforming sections where you can only really learn how to do them by dying over and over again. This is because they're fiddly AF. You often need to be very precise with your jumps or chain moves together, and also it's not always 100% clear where you need to go. The way these sections stop the adrenaline pumping action dead in its tracks is frustrating as it is, but the fact that they're also incredibly aggravating is a great way to ruin the atmosphere because it makes you feel like you've gone from an all-powerful demon slayer to the dude from Quap, if the dude from Quap was trying to jump over pools of molten lava. If Doom Eternal gets a sequel, I hope they put in less platforming and more ripping and tearing, because honestly, these sections are the only part of this game that I really, really hated. And that's it, mate. See? Wasn't too bad, was it? Oh, come on. It was just a bit of constructive criticism. Nothing to kill a guy over anyway. So go on, clear off, and I'll see you again in March when your game releases. Yep, that's it. Go on, Scalper. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out either. Bye! Oh wait, that's the Junior, isn't it? Shit.